Is brought to you by Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek, Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement, Mike's E-Keys for Cars, GT Car and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling, Supple's Flowers, home of 1-800-800-ROSE, the Midtown Family Restaurants, Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City, Diamond Dreams Sports Academy, Senior Benefits, Premier Automotive in North Liberty, Dirk Sterner Taxidermy, the Oxyokin and the Amanas, Streets Maintenance, Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids, and Big Dog Tech Solutions. Big Dog Tech Solutions. Here's Tom Suter, and from HawkFanatic.com, it's Pat Harty.
We are here, and I wish there was something to talk about today.
Yeah.
You know, it's just been lots going on in Hawkeye land, and yesterday at least a lot of it was good. Almost all of it was good.
All of it was good. They got the quarterback that they have been going after aggressively. Good for them. We'll have Brad Heinrichs on later to talk about it because obviously he played a role in this.
Sure did.
As much as the coaches in some ways now.
Brad's going to write the check.
Yeah,
so.
And then in a few minutes here, we're going to have Iowa graduate guard Drew Thelwell on. And ironically, we have scheduled this before, thinking that he would have played last night. He didn't play last night. They had a great win. It'll be interesting because it was funny. For the most of that first half, I kept getting text messages. What's up? Where's Thelwell? Where's Thelwell? Why isn't Thelwell playing? What's up with Thelwell? And I got to thinking, man, fans really like. But, you know, he has turned into one of their best players. The fact that they were able to win without him after being down 15 is a good sign because it's a minor injury. He'll be back, obviously. They wouldn't have him on the show. It was an interesting evening. And the fact that they were able to pull that out is, I mean, they're 11-4 and 2-2 now. Think about that. They're right in the thick of it. There's, it's no panic. Everything. Now they got a big game Saturday. You got Drew on.
They do. Drew, first off, Tom Suter and Pat Harty with you here. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good, Drew.
We're doing good. And last night I was in the stands and I didn't hear the pregame, and so I'm thinking, well, where's Drew? How come Drew's not playing? I texted Pat to see if he knew.
You were among them. It was funny. I mean, everyone's like, what's up with Thelwell? Why isn't Thelwell playing? It was just. Then finally TV said something in the game saying that you had a minor injury during warm-ups or whatever, but it was just crazy how fans were like, where is Drew Thelwell? It's amazing the impression that you've already made on this team. Can you just update us on it? We won't dwell on it, but we were told that it was just a minor foot tweak.
I will be good for Saturday, I promise you guys that.
All right.
Okay, fair enough. Drew, what was that like sitting there watching that game? I mean, that had to be agonizing for you.
Oh, are you kidding? Oh my gosh, I just wanted to do something, and it's like sometimes there's just nothing you can do. It's out of control. But I trust my guys, man. I knew they were going to pull it through. I knew JD was going to be gassed, but I kept talking, just keep breathing, keep giving us all you got, and they pulled through, and I'm proud of them.
So down 52-37, you had no doubts.
I had no doubts.
Interesting.
It's a game of runs. We talked about it in scouts. Nebraska goes on runs. And we just have to weather the storm. So I had no doubts.
Well, it was really fun to watch, and I felt bad for Josh because I think he played for all but 22 seconds of 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think when he got subbed out, he sat right next to me. I was like, JD, it's not going to be a long break. Just breathe. You go right back in. And about 10 seconds after I said that, he got up and went right back in.
Well, Iowa has a history under Fran of having teams that can make runs. I mean,
yes.
It's just the way you guys play, and you could see it coming. And then, Drew, when you guys start making those shots, then the other team, you could tell Nebraska I thought they started to press a little bit.
They did. They got a little tight.
Could you tell that you had them on their heels as this thing was switching?
Definitely. I think you can tell by their reactions, too. They're like, what's going on? Like, now they're starting to hit threes. And, when you see Peyton hit 2 in a row, that's dangerous. Like, 'cause that third one's going to go up. And it's probably going to go in. So, like, in the back of their minds, they're worrying, too. So that was big for us.
So, Drew, have you ever scored 30 points and a half like Peyton did last night?
Nope, and I don't think I will. He's going to have that one for a while. He caught fire. But I told him, like, you just got to let it come to him. And it was going to happen. It was going to be a game, and I'm glad it was this game so we can take going into Saturday.
Well, the other thing, I thought you guys really picked it up defensively. I mean, it just seemed like you were clogging the passing lanes, better help defense. And obviously, you're human. When you guys start making your shots, it's just, you're going to bring more energy, it seems like, on defense. Did you see that too? Because, we have to be honest, the defense wasn't very good at Wisconsin, but I thought you guys bounced back and played defense when you needed to.
Yeah, and I think it just started with our preparation.
Okay.
Before this game, the last 2 days, I think we talked to the team like we saw a clip from a kid from Wisconsin, and I think it was the McGee kid. And
yes.
He was saying, like, we don't play defense. And I think we took that really personally. Like, I think everybody in our team saw it, and we didn't like that. So we tried to make more of an emphasis, like, we're going to get stops on defense when we need it, and we're going to rebound when we need to. So I think just with that being said, I think we took those last 2 days personally, and we were going to win this game.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, I did see those quotes, and I remember thinking, you may play these guys again. That could be the energy Iowa needs. And Tom and I were talking. This was such a huge win to be 2-2 as opposed to 1-3. You're 11-4. Now you got a huge game coming up on Saturday against Indiana. I think the arena is going to be rocking. This is why you came to Iowa, right? To playing games like this.
100%. And I will be ready to go. I'll be juiced for it. I owned Indiana 1. I've lost to them for the past 2 years.
That's right.
Last year, I think we were up at least 15. And we lost by like 1 to them, so I still got a bad taste from that.
I wanted to ask you, you've made this transition look so easy, it seems like, just on and off the court. I mean, obviously, why did you pick Iowa, and what has been the key? What kind of advice would you give to somebody in your situation making this kind of transition? It just seems like it's come so natural for you.
I would say it's just because I've been doing it for a while is why it probably looks natural. I mean, it has challenges every day. But I would just say, like, I've played with a lot of Big Ten teams in this past year or so I was comfortable with the Big Ten, and I knew, like, what I could do in the Big Ten. So that was kind of, a big decision on why I chose Iowa. And then if I was going to give advice, I think it's just you have to be a daily guy. Like, it has to be every day. Like, you have to be consistent. You can't take days off, or you can't be like, today I'm just not going to bring it. Like, it has to be every day. And I hope, like, what I'm doing is reaching out to people to show them, like, I'm going to bring it every day no matter what.
Well, you've made quite an – I mean, just the reaction last night when you weren't playing, it was amazing. I'm like, God, Iowa fans are just in a panic. They're like, why isn't he not – I mean, that's a compliment to you. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, it really is. I was amazed at – I mean, Iowa fans have really taken to you. But, I mean, partly that's the way you play. You're consistent. What you said, that's Fran McCaffrey, because Fran always talks about just day-to-day consistency. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. And you seem the same way.
Yeah. I think that's why we so well. And I think that's why he trusts me now. And so, like, I feel comfortable out there. And to the fans, I really do appreciate it because, like, it helps me bring a lot more energy knowing that they're behind me and I can just play free.
The other thing that seems to help is the fact that you can play both positions so easy. I mean, you can shift over. Talk about the importance of that, the fact that you're versatile enough to go point guard, shooting guard.
I think it just brings another dynamic to the game because I've played a point guard for a lot of my life, but being able to play without the ball is so big because I can, like, move, set screens, just be ready to catch and shoot, whatever the team needs me to do. So it's kind of just buying into your role, you know? And, like, Brock's a great point guard, and, like, he needs to be able to make plays for others. And so, like, I've bought into that, and there's no problem, no issue. And sometimes I tell him, hey, like, take this one. I see a read that you can make, and I'll be ready to shoot it. Or vice versa. So it's been really easy.
Okay, Tom.
So as a fan, and I don't like Wisconsin. Okay.
No, I don't like them either.
No. So that game the other night was just so frustrating to watch. I can't even imagine what it's like to play in a game like that. But then you turn around 3 days later, missing a few key components, and this team turned it on with 15 minutes to go and went out and stomped them. How does that happen?
What you said was a must-win. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I think it just goes back to, our mindset. Like, we knew it was a must-win game. And if you look actually at that Wisconsin game, I think Wisconsin was 0-2. They were looking at that game as a must-win game. So I think it's just, like, what it comes down to in this league. Like, whoever wants it more is going to win. And I think from here on out, I think we learned our lesson, and we're going to have to apply it to every game. Like, this is a must-win game. and that's what we're going to have to do for the rest of the year.
That's interesting because we were talking about one of my biggest concerns going into the Wisconsin game is the fact that they were 0-2 in the law of averages and what have you. Just like with you guys against Nebraska, I don't know. I texted my buddy at halftime saying I still think Iowa's going to win this game, and I didn't think you were going to get down by 15 in the second half, but you guys did it, and you found a way to come back. So how long did it take you when you started playing with these guys? Did you fit in right away did you like, yeah, my style fits easy? Did you, like, before you committed, you visit here, are you able to play with these guys on the court before you make a commitment? And could you tell right away that you could fit in style-wise?
I think because I've been around college basketball for a while, I knew I was going to fit in. It was kind of just to where, like, I would figure out where I would get my shots and how the offense flowed. That was my biggest concern. And I think that would be for anybody, walking into a new program, new team, new culture. But once, like, you get that first month in, because you're trying to learn everybody and, like, how everybody wants to, like, play and, where does Peyton loves to get that shot at the trail spot.
Yeah.
He loves to get it. Like JD, you want to space it, give him space so he can ISO, get to his mid-range. Owen, you want to give him the quick post up so he doesn't have to work through a triple team or whatever the case may be. So, like, you just got to learn your teammates. So I think that first month was learning. I asked a lot of questions, but then the coaches were like, you know what? You asked so many questions. You're such a smart kid. Just play. Go have fun. Like, you know what to do. You've done it. Trust your instincts. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And so that's kind of what happened.
Wow, that's interesting.
So it seems like Fran likes the players to have a lot of freedom. And was your previous team, did you have a lot of sets that you played, or was it also a free-flowing offense?
I would say we had tons of sets. I would say, because I always joke about it up here, I went from, like, one of the slowest offenses to, like, the quickest offenses in the country. So that was an adjustment for me for a little bit. But I would say, like, it's been fun, though. Like, I can't complain. That's another reason why I picked this. Like, knowing what type of offense it is fun to watch. It's fun to play in. It's fun to go up and down really fast. And then knowing me, I love getting stops. So regardless of how we may look on the defensive end, I know for me personally, I'm going to play my hardest on defense and get stops.
And it's amazing how you guys picked it up defensively when you needed to. So now the key is to carry that into the Indiana game. Indiana's a lot different. I watched them play the other night. They have that big center from Arizona he's a weapon. I mean, just talk a little bit about the challenges that Indiana presents. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at them much. Have you seen them play much this year?
I've seen them play a couple games. I think I watched when they played Tennessee earlier in this year. They are big. They have size. I mean, Indiana's always known for having size. And I think they're playing faster than they do normally, which, I mean, is probably what every team in the country is now, especially in the Big Ten. But, I mean, I don't think it's going to truly change what we do with our game plan. But I know Coach is going to have a scout for us. I haven't even looked at the scout yet. The coaches more want me to rest up and get healed and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But we'll be ready. I mean, regardless, we know what we have to do. We have to play defense and get stops. We got to rebound the ball because everybody knows our offense is one of the tops in the country. So, I mean, it's the same things that everybody's saying. So everybody knows it. Well,
somebody just texted me and wants to know, in this age of all these eligibility, is there any way you can squeeze another year of eligibility out? This is it, right? You have 1 year, right?
I have this last year. I saw something with the NCAA talking about another fifth year. I don't know if I'll get that or not. I haven't put too much thought into it. I mean, if I were to, I would have a conversation with my parents. I'd have a conversation with Fran, and I'd probably just go from there. I don't know. I haven't put any thought into it at all. So.
Well, I know Iowa fans would love to have you back.
Oh, my gosh.
Back for, I mean, they would love to have you. And I know you got to get going. I don't want to I just got one more question before Tom wraps this thing up. I mean, just what's it been like for you away from – you're from Orlando, Florida. I mean, what's this been like away from basketball, just to Iowa City? How's that transition gone?
Oh, it's been smooth, seamless. It's been really easy, honestly. Just enjoying my time as a fifth-year senior. I'm getting used to the cold. I went home for the Christmas break, and it was like the lowest. It was 70. I was in a shirt and shorts.
I've been there many times in Orlando,
like 20. I'm like, oh, man. So,
but Drew, this has been a pretty easy winter, hasn't it, Tom?
Oh, sure.
It can be a lot worse than this. We've been lucky so far, knock on wood. But no, it's been great having you. I look forward to covering you the rest of this season, man. You are such an important part of this team, and yet they were still able to win without you. That's going to be a huge building block for you guys to get you back. Good luck Saturday. And Tom's got one last question. Thanks, Drew.
Okay, so Drew, this is a question I ask all the players that we talk to and all the administrators and all the coaches and stuff. We get some great answers to this. Has nothing whatsoever to do with basketball. So you pick up your cell phone and it says unknown caller, okay, but you pick it up anyway. And it turns out to be, hi, Drew, this is Beth Getz, your athletic director, and I need your help.
Yeah.
I need Drew Thelwell to pick a band or an act or a singer to fill up Kinnick Stadium. Who is Drew Thelwell going to hire to fill up Kinnick Stadium?
Oh, okay. 'Cause I have two people for you.
Okay.
One's country, and one is more like hip-hop rap.
Okay.
You can't ever go wrong with Drake. Drake's going to sell out every crowd he gets.
I would agree
I
with that.
agree
And
with that.
then for country, I'm a big Morgan Wallen guy. I was listening to Seven Summers not too long ago. So I would pick Morgan. Those two, you got to go. I'm going for those two.
All right.
So you're going to have a twin bill? You're going to have
I
them
don't know.
both play at the
Those
same
those
time?
two are top dogs, so I don't know if they're going to.
That would definitely fill. That twin bill would definitely fill Kinnick. Interesting. Yeah,
Okay, and Fran's boys picked Drake also.
And so did Luca Garza.
And so did Luca Garza.
Okay, so good company. All right, Drew, thanks a lot. We know you're busy. Get healed, and look forward to seeing you play Saturday.
And go Hawks.
Yes. Thank you. Go Hawks. Thank you.
Right.
All right, thanks, Drew. Well, that was awesome. What a great kid.
Yeah, he's good. Your program's at 0. Your program.
My program at
It's
0.
the
Where
one-
would that
oh,
be?
the-
Oh, you mean the yellow?
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
He's a great interview. I mean,
Boy.
I really enjoy talking to him. He's a great player. I mean, like I said, he's made this transition seamless. He's
He
made it
has
look
been so much fun to watch. And, we all knew how important that game was last night. And when I saw that Drew wasn't starting, I said, what the hell? How are we going to do this now? Mm-hmm. And we found out, played Josh Dix 44 minutes and 38 seconds.
Well, they need Drew Saturday. And
They do.
They got him, and I don't have a feeling yet on this one like I did with Nebraska. I thought they were going to beat Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska's an okay team. I'm not ready. I know they've had a decent record. I still think Nebraska may struggle to be 500 in the conference. They may go 10, 11, and I don't see them being a great team, and I think they got exposed at the end of that game.
Well, I think there are a lot of teams that are going to go
I think the Big Ten
10 and 10, 11 and 9,
9 and
12
11, 8 and 12,
Yep.
12. I think there's going to be a bunch between 8 and 12 and 12 and 8.
There sure are.
And there may not be any above 15 and 5. I don't see that. I don't see a 16 and 14 in this.
Well, we have
conference.
2 undefeated right now.
Yeah, Michigan State and
Michigan.
And I still don't think both of those guys will go 16.
Because Michigan won last night, didn't they?
I believe so. Yeah, Dusty May has, and that kid, that transfer from, is it Yale? The Alex Wolf kid. He's the best player in the conference.
really
right now.
good.
He's a 7-foot point guard in a lot of ways. I never imagined that there was somebody like him out there, let alone in the Ivy League. But Dusty May did a great job in getting him and then bringing up his 7-footer from Florida, and they've paired together. And he's a good coach. Does look like the Brands twins, and they're winning. I mean, they were. He knew if he brought a few pieces in at Michigan, they could win right away. They're winning right away. Michigan State, of course, is doing it more with the players that they've had there for a while. They've added a few new pieces. They're pretty good, but I don't think they're great.
No, there's no great team.
I've
in the
watched.
conference.
No, there's no. I mean, I watched. I mean, Duke's 5-0 now in ACC play, and I don't think they're a great team. I mean, who's number 1 right now? Duke's 4th. Who is ranked number 1 right now?
Gosh.
I'm
not sure.
I'm not even sure who is ranked. I haven't looked at the latest. Well, Iowa State's 3rd. Duke is 4. Who are
Is
2?
UConn up there still?
No, UConn lost 3 games early in the season. But, I mean, I can look. All we have to do is Google AP Top 25. Are you doing that, Captain?
Yes.
I am.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But, yeah, there's no And we almost beat that team, that Michigan team at Michigan. And, this Iowa team, when they...
Auburn, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Auburn and Tennessee.
Tennessee 1, Auburn 2.
Tennessee got smashed last night, though, by Florida. They only scored 15 points in the first half. These rankings, Iowa State, if they win, will probably go up to number 2. And I'll tell you, I watched Auburn. They are really good.
Yeah.
They are really good. I mean,
there's a lot of really good teams, but
do I see a team like UConn? Do I see a UConn from the last 2 years? No,
I don't think so.
I don't think Auburn's probably the closest, and I don't see that. And I think, like I said, if Iowa plays well Saturday, I think they can beat this Indiana team at home.
Sure.
And I think they're going to win most of their home games. I do, if they can stay healthy. And
but that's been the biggest issue so far this year. Is there have been maybe 1 or 2 games where everybody has been healthy on the team. And
they've had. I mean, between Sadoo's ankle injury, Cooper Koch's issues, and then you got Drew's missing the game. They've had to overcome some injuries, and
then you had Peyton and Josh Dix with wrist injuries for a couple of games.
Yeah, now I will say some of that's just grind, wear and tear.
Sure.
I mean, every team goes through that. But no, they've been able to hold together. I think there was way too much panic after the defense was bad. But I think when I heard those quotes by Kamari McGee, I remember I mentioned him. Well, he played him here.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, that's going to be heard by all those Iowa players. It's up to them to decide how they wanted to react. Now, it's just been one game, and the defense wasn't great at times in the game.
No.
There were some issues. But when it needed to be, it was. They got the job done. In the overtime, I mean, they outscored them by 10 points.
And Owen made some big defensive plays.
He really did. Owen was playing with he seemed like he was playing a little pissed off.
I was just going to say.
That's fine.
He was pissed off last night, and should have been.
And I know he's very religious because he mentions God all the time, more power. God doesn't mind if you get pissed off on the court, as long as you're playing competitive, tough, clean basketball, and that's what Owen does.
I'm pissed off right now.
And are you saying you're God?
No. Hello.
Oh, hello. Isn't Auburn the only team that's beaten Iowa State?
I don't.
That's a good. You'd probably know. I haven't watched a lot of men's basketball except for us.
I forgot that Auburn did beat Iowa State. Yeah, I think that's Iowa State. I think Iowa State's lost either 1 or 2. I can't remember.
Hey, I was surprised last night that there weren't more Nebraska fans there.
I was too. And I was a little surprised that there weren't more Iowa fans, frankly. But then, the students aren't back yet.
Well, the students don't show up anyway. I mean, they probably wouldn't. I mean, they're the worst about showing up for the men's games, unfortunately.
We had a whole row of Nebraska fans behind us, and I thought, oh, come on, we can't let them beat us. And then toward the end, I noticed I turned around because I didn't hear them, and they were gone. They just left.
Yeah, I mean, the overtime.
I thought our best defense was at the beginning of the overtime. We were smacking the balls out of their hands and everything.
Yeah, the overtime, Iowa just swept them off their feet.
It was over in a matter of a couple minutes.
It was.
Yeah, I thought it was very good.
Yep.
Well, I'm back in my church, so I'll go and give you guys a good prayer and talk to you later.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Got Karn praying for us.
Yeah, well, and well she should. You like that song coming in?
No.
I play for you.
God, no. Who was that?
Chapel Roan.
Jesus.
I thought, look, I did.
I turned it off, actually. I did. I was driving on I'm like, I remember hitting. I'm like, good God.
HOTTOGO.
Yeah.
I thought you'd like that one, Pat.
Yeah, we thought you would.
We
like
all thought
that.
You'd love that.
Yeah, it's kind of a cheer, sporty.
Kind of like
song.
a Mickey 2025.
I didn't like Mickey when it came out.
No. I didn't think of you until it went on, and then I thought, oh, this is going to drive him mad.
Because I usually have it on when I'm driving in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, good God. And you had played Material Girl prior to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little Madonna. Little early 80s Madonna.
See, I'll take Chapel Roan over Madonna.
Early 80s Madonna.
I liked early Madonna.
I like some
Borderline.
Borderline is a great song.
What's
Holiday.
I liked Live to Tell.
I lived next door to a sorority in college, and God, when the windows were open, all you would hear is Madonna, like Holiday, and girls screaming and just crying. God, and then I'd try to crank like Wish You Were Here or Uma Guma, and
I'm guessing you would have maybe had more luck with the ladies if you had played Madonna and say, "Come on over here, let's groove to some Madonna."
Yeah, okay.
Just a thought.
That's a long, complicated story, especially back in those days. But no, I rarely dated anyone who had my music taste. I mean, I remember dating her favorite group. I think it was Billy Ocean at one point.
Billy was an acquired taste. I
never acquired it. Is he calling Brad now?
Theoretically, yeah. You call him Brad?
Yes.
Were you successful, Steve?
So we should thank Brad by helping to bring Drew Thelwell here, because we just talked to Drew, and it was a great interview. And, man, is that winning in the portal, getting a guy like Drew Thelwell. I mean, it's amazing how he has fit in.
It really is. So, anyway, joining us right now is Brad Heinrichs, the CEO of the Swarm Collective, our NIL guru. And thank you, as always, Brad, for joining us. And, boy, you have been a busy bee lately, and you've had some great successes. Most recently, the Mark Gronowski commitment, the South Dakota State quarterback, two-time national champion. And with your help, he's coming to Iowa for his last year. Your thoughts?
That's pretty exciting, isn't it, guys?
Oh, man, it was unbelievable.
Getting a 10,000-yard passer, heck of a leader. Basically won the Heisman-ish
the Walter
type
Payton
trophy that they have there.
Yep.
FCS. He's a really impressive kid and somebody that'll be great for our younger quarterback room. I think he's going to bring other quarterbacks along. I think he's got a real shot to lead us to greatness in the fall. So I think everybody's super excited, and me personally, I'm just relieved because on social media the last couple of weeks after the Missouri the last quarterback that picked Missouri over us, people are ready to put me in front of the firing squad. So it's nice that I'm finally getting a little bit of a reprieve here.
Brad, as somebody who's learned from experience, X or Twitter, whatever, I mean, it is, what do we call it, Tom? A cesspool at times? I mean, it's amazing, too, when I look at all the success, when Iowa does have something successful, there's always other school Twitter accounts that come in and try to minimize it and what have you, but try to ignore it. I know it's not easy, but it's interesting. This kid grew up, and his father was a Drake quarterback when I was at Drake. Ray Gronowski was, I think he was the backup when Iowa beat Drake 56-0 in '85. So this kid grew up around court. I mean, his father's a quarterback. What's interesting, other than Wisconsin, Brad, I didn't hear any other school besides you guys.
I mean, it sounded like it was either the NFL or Iowa.
Yeah, that is true. That there were other schools, blue blood type schools, that were waving around all kinds of money to try to get him to go visit them as well. I mean, I think it was pretty clear that at this point in time he was the number one quarterback left on the board, and schools that were looking for a quarterback, and again, schools that are pretty well endowed, if you will, were really pushing hard. And to the kid's credit, he's like, I'm a Midwest kid. Mm-hmm. Always admired the Iowa program, the staff, the continuity of coaches, the way we go about doing things. And it was basically, you're right. It came down to Iowa versus the NFL, and ultimately he decided that while he thinks he would have been drafted probably in the later rounds this year. He thinks that by coming to Iowa, he can hopefully improve his draft stock and improve his craft a bit and be better off next year. So you think about any time you get a player to enter your program that is an NFL draft pick, I think you've improved yourself. I mean, you don't have to be a real football guy to understand that. Even an old actuary can figure out that I think we improved ourselves yesterday.
Well, I look at the current quarterback room, and as if everybody stays, there's a lot of depth. There's four.
And it's light years better than
I mean, it's amazing. And
at this time.
Gronowski, he talked to ESPN right after announcing his commitment, and he brought up the fact that Tim Lester spent a year with Green Bay last year, a year that I never really gave much consideration to. He said that made an impression, and he brought up the fact that Tim Lester can help him get to the NFL. I mean, that was interesting. You could tell that Tim Lester really made a strong impression on this kid.
He absolutely did, and I think Tim may have spent on his visit maybe 3.5 hours. And what they did was, I think they watched Packer film, Hawkeye film, and I think he even watched some of the South Dakota State film and talked about how basically broke down the film of Mark and really started coaching him right out of the gate. And one thing I've learned is that good players like to be coached, and this kid kind of fell in love with the program. Fell in love with Lester, and I think that he certainly had a huge impression on Mark, and so it was the right fit, and so I think everybody's super excited.
So, Brad, why don't take us through the process a little bit? I mean, a lot of people are kind of confused how it actually works. Is the first step the player has to be in the portal, and then the team gets interested and tells you they're interested? How does it work?
Well, there's the way it oftentimes works is you hear rumblings about a kid potentially going into the portal from his agent, who agent calls you and says, "Oh, what blah blah blah." Theoretically, are you interested? All that kind of stuff happens, but regardless, you can't talk to a kid until he's in the portal, and then once he enters the portal, then it's it's fair game, and you can contact them, and in this case, I think that Mark was originally planning on going into the NFL,
mm-hmm.
and just he knew that we were looking for a quarterback, and he thought that we were intriguing enough. He went into the portal. We talked to him. He visited. Once he entered the portal, obviously everybody else wanted to talk to him as well. But to Mark's credit, he was engaged with Iowa really from the beginning, and it was really Iowa versus the NFL for him. And we were fortunate to have him. I mean, that's kind of how it works. A lot of times, whether it's doesn't matter the position, agents shop kids, agents contact kids. I mean, we have agents from other schools. We don't have this, and I haven't talked about I don't crazy, but these other schools, especially in the SEC, they've got like a legion of people that are just calling our kids or kids from other schools during the season, not during the season, whatever, trying to get them to enter the portal and consider going to their school. It's really wild how it's happened, and I've even had to have a conversation with the parents about an SEC school calling one of our current players and help them understand that what kind of financial arrangement they're going to have next year, because these SEC schools are waiving cash.
So, Brad, what would happen? Sorry to interrupt, but I got to ask, what would happen if one of those parents all of a sudden just said, I'm going to call the NCAA and tell them this is exactly what just happened. Here's the school that did it. Here's the person that did it. What would happen?
Well, I'm sure that's probably happened, and considering the NCAA hasn't done anything, I think we have our answer.
Wow,
crazy.
I mean, did you see the Jim Mora comments? Jim Mora, the coach for UConn, former I guess, was he Georgia Bulldog coach and NFL coach?
He was former NFL coach. He's the son
Do I
of
have the right guy's name? Is it not Mora? Is his name Mora?
Yeah, Jim Moore. He's the
that's
UConn
right.
coach. He's the son of the former coach. Remember the playoffs? That Jim Moore.
Yeah, the playoffs guy.
Yeah.
So his kid, Mora, he's not a kid, but his son. Anyway, he basically said, he says, all you guys are tampering with our kids. I know who you are, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, did you guys see that?
Yes, I did see that. Yep.
And but has anything come of that?
No.
I'm aware of, right?
No.
And so it's just common practice. But whether you say it's fortunately or unfortunately, that's not something we do. But it seems to be happening to us. So in any event, at least at this point, we haven't had anybody that's coming to my mind that is entered the portal. No starters, I guess.
No, I haven't. I haven't seen anything.
So when you signed on to be the unpaid CEO of the NIL at Iowa,
CEO's kind of funny, isn't it? Right? Usually CEOs make money. I'm not making a dime.
Did you ever dream that the kind of money that's being thrown around to get backup quarterbacks, aren't they talking $8 to $10 million for some of these kids? Is that true?
That seems a little high to me, but I will say that guys are making 7 digits. Quarterbacks are the market price for quarterbacks in the portal. I think it's pretty well documented. If you're an accomplished starting quarterback, you're going to probably get a 7-figure income.
Incredible.
I don't think that's a mystery to anybody. And so, has there been some serious price inflation? Yes. Incredible price inflation. Like I can't believe how much the market value of these players in the portal has risen. I think what it also tells you is that high school recruiting is even more important unless you've got an unlimited budget.
Yeah.
Because growing your own is a whole lot more cost effective than going out in the market and buying players.
And that's the way Iowa does it, and the way Fran does it. And I think overall, in the long run, it's going to be beneficial.
Yeah.
And I think
you just have to supplement your roster when you have holes, and that's what Fran's done. I mean, I think his portal guys this year are really helpful. I mean, Thelwell's great. Traore is going to be just fine. He's had some injury issues, but that Thelwell's been a huge impact so far.
Great
basketball team. And and we've had some good portal. People like to give me a hard time about guys that maybe haven't worked out in the portal in football, but guys like Nick Jackson have been pretty darn successful.
Brad, in fairness to you, there haven't been many that have. I mean, Dejon, the lineman, he was injured. Dejon Parker, I think he would have played, but he was injured. But for the most part, it's been pretty successful.
Good for the most part.
For talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Brown was one
that was one, yes. And I'll tell you,
at me, and of course, Cade McNamara. People are I get mocked on for that one quite a bit.
The thing is, though, Brad, in fairness, I'm not just trying to suck up to you. When Cade McNamara committed here, all those people ripping you were the ones saying, I mean, this is program changing. This is incredible. I mean,
this is our Messiah coming in from Michigan.
It was incredible how everyone was convinced this is it. So then he doesn't live up to their expectations. They need someone to blame, and that's you.
Yeah, I'm the unpaid whipping boy. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll bet.
But what can you do?
I mean, the Cade McNamara thing, looking back on it with hindsight, the knee injuries were more than I envisioned. I think they were more than Kirk. It's just one of those things that happened. And the thing with Caleb Brown is he showed that he was good enough to play on the field. I mean, unfortunate that incident. But so as far as evaluating talent, though, and bringing him in, he was working when he was playing. Mm-hmm. He was good. So, but no, you're right about Nick Jackson. I mean, I think he was in a lot of ways, kind of like Drew Thelwell. He just made a huge impact on and off. So now I don't know what you can talk about. There was the other buzz this morning was there's supposedly a wide receiver that on three is 55% convinced that he's going to commit to Iowa. That's what their crystal ball's telling them.
55%?
So it was 55% the last I checked. I don't know if you can talk about any of this stuff.
Isn't that wild? It's almost like a presidential poll.
Yes, it is. Crystal balls, and they do these percentage picks, and right now Iowa's leading. So all the fans are excited about that.
It's interesting how that happens, and you probably wouldn't be surprised how many times I get calls from these national writers saying, what are your chances? That's I think how they come up with that stuff is that they'll call people and say, off the record, how do you feel about getting so-and-so? And, at some point I just stop answering those phone calls because it's,
that's the
my job is not to help them with their stories, right?
That's the smart thing to do, yes.
That's the kind of stuff, and so, what I'll tell you is that this stuff is so fluid that there have been times when we thought we were going to get a kid, and then nope, in the last second you don't. Then other times you think that one kid's kind of been a while since he's been here. He's looking at taking another visit. That tells you that maybe he's not set on coming here, and then they come back around. You just like I said. Until the guy signs, you really don't know.
No, you're right.
Yeah. It's a wild world. So, do I think we're interested in another wide receiver? Yeah, okay. We're looking at another wide receiver, but we'll see what pans out, and what doesn't.
I know everyone dwells on the Cade McNamara thing, and rightfully so, but I look at someone like Jacob Gill. I remember when he committed shortly after Brendan Sullivan, who got nobody really gave it much consideration at all, and he was clearly Iowa. He was probably their second best offensive player this past season. So
he was great.
The process of getting Jacob Gill, how did that work out? Was it different than a lot of others? Because like I said, it got no fanfare.
Mm-mm.
It didn't get a lot of fanfare, and it was, if I'm remembering it correctly, I think that Sullivan really kind of stood up for it and said, "Hey,
yes, yeah,
this kid's good. He can help us." And maybe he doesn't have the stats that some of these other kids have in the portal. This is the kind of kid that would really help us. We talked to him, and presto changeo, here he is, and was maybe our most productive receiver this year.
Oh, without question.
Say. And sure-handed kid generally, and small kid, but not afraid to stick his nose in there and block.
Great block.
You guys remember the Minnesota game?
Yeah.
I think he blocked two guys on a play that sprung Caleb Johnson to the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
So he sometimes some of the best portal gets are the ones that maybe don't get the fanfare that others do.
Exactly.
But anytime you get a quarterback, and we've got two of them in this portal period, right? I mean,
yes.
We'll see. And I'll tell you this too, guys. Hank Brown practiced with the team before bowl game, and he's every bit what we were hoping he would be. I mean, the coaches are excited about Hank Brown.
He also has 3 years of eligibility.
Yeah.
3 years. 3 years. Yeah. I think it's let's put it this way. It's my hope that we're not going to the portal for a quarterback anytime again soon.
Well, you brought up Brendan Sullivan, and he down in Florida, when it was asked about, Iowa pursuing quarterbacks, because then he said, hey, competition's part of it. I love competition. Well,
you're going to have it.
He has now got it. I mean, if that, and he says he embraces competition.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, Sully is a great kid. Not a good kid. He's a great kid, and he's a big competitor.
Oh, he is.
And I'm not surprised at all that he would say that. I mean, that's what a lot of competitors say. And so, we'll see how this all plays out. You never know. You can't be surprised by anything.
No, very fluid.
But it's admirable that the kid feels this way. And I'll tell you this: when he was backing up Cade, he was a terrific teammate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just very supportive, and the first, but he prepared as if he was going to be playing, even when he wasn't. So I've got a lot of respect for Sully, I'm glad he's still in our quarterback room. Our quarterback room is pretty awesome.
It really is right now.
It's got to be the best it's been in a long time.
Easily the best, and I was looking at this when they had CJ and Jake Rudock But that's over a decade.
Almost
ago.
a decade.
Yeah. So you could go back almost a decade.
Yeah. I think you're probably in that era before you've got a quarterback room that compares to what we've got right now.
Yeah.
So, Brad, okay, I think the most important thing that we can talk about today, and I want you to make this as crystal clear as you can, that it's still amazing to me that probably most of the Hawkeye fans do not know what Swarm is. We've already seen that most of them do not contribute to Swarm, and we've seen time and time and time again with our own eyes the difference that the work that the Swarm Collective does, that you do to bring these great athletes into Iowa. How can you impress upon the normal rank and file Iowa fan how important it is to contribute to the Swarm Collective?
Well, I can say that it's quite simply that student athletes now have the right and the ability to make money, just like you and I do. And under the current rules, athletic departments are not able to compensate these student athletes. And so collectives have popped up for every Division I school, every Power 4 school, and the collective's job is to pay the players, to help attract the players, help retain the players. That's one thing that people don't talk about a lot.
You're right about that.
And that our collective pays the players, and it helps keep the players from leaving. Turnover is detrimental to any organization, whether we're talking about a sports team or just an actuarial firm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want turnover because it's costly and disruptive. And our job is to help keep the players here. It's to help attract players to come here, and so we solicit donations from Hawkeye fans, and we pay these players not just for being quarterback or wide receiver. We pay them to do things in the community or for various charities across Iowa, and we also hook them up with corporations that support us to help advertise and market for those corporations. And so our job is to be that conduit to help make us competitive on the field, but also do it in a way that's beneficial to the state of Iowa.
It was interesting. We were talking to Ethan Herkett, defensive end, and he considered the draft. He looked at his chances and what have you, and decided he was going to come back. And I asked him, was NIL a factor? And he's like, yeah. He goes, it just makes it easier to come back when you're somebody in my position. You know, he didn't talk about dollar, but he says it is definitely a factor, retaining and keeping us here. He even said, he goes, sometimes it gets lost because they're always talking about the money paying to try to get people here, but you also got to keep us here. And he said that helped to convince him to stay.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Jackson's gone now, but I remember him being very open with me when he was trying to decide whether to come back for a final season. And the calculus that he did was, okay, whether I get drafted or not, this is what I'll probably make if I make a roster, a 53-man roster. This is what I'll make on a practice squad. And he says, I'm confident that at a minimum I'm going to be on somebody's practice squad next year, and I'm going to make a certain amount on that practice squad. Okay, Brad, if you can pay me as much as I'm going to make on a practice squad or around there, then it makes it a whole lot easier for me to want to come back and try to improve because our coaching staff is making me a better football player. Mm-hmm. When you get to the NFL, they expect you to already be a good football player and ready to play. At Iowa, it's still developmental, and we're trying to make players become better football players. And so that was the decision he made, that we were able to compensate him in a way that made him feel like he wasn't giving up much financially to come back. And so, you know, that's what the Swarm can do.
Interesting.
It's an example. Swarm can do.
No, that's that's how I figured it worked. But it's just interesting hearing it come from you.
So then, how important, Brad? I mean, because if you're a rank and file Hawkeye fan, all you can afford is $20, $30, $50 a month. How much of a difference can that make if enough people do it?
Oh, that's huge. I mean, you think about it. It's amazing. You got 70,000 people in Kinnick, and if everyone gave $10 a game, that's $700,000 per game.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. I mean, that's only $10. We're not even talking about 20, 30, or $50.
Yeah.
And we make it pretty easy. We have Venmo, Swarm Collective. You can go to iowaswarm.com and either become a recurring monthly member or just give a one-time gift. Anything really, it all adds up. And since there's so many different Hawkeye fans out there, it's pretty disappointing to me. It makes me, kind of reinforces that I may suck at my job. But we only have 3,000 Swarm members at this point. To be a Swarm member, you sign up and give just under $20 a month or $200 a year, whichever is easiest for you. It seems as if we ought to be able to get 10,000 members without much difficulty.
It seems like it would be a piece of cake.
Well, I will say, though, that's 1,000 more than the last time we had you on. Remember the story the last time? It was right around. So at least you've added 1,000. I'm trying, but no, you're right. I am surprised that there's not more. But I remember I texted you and I did some research on Tennessee. I still think you guys should somehow consider a ticket surcharge of 5%, 10%, whatever. And I know the Swarm would have to collect it because Iowa couldn't do it. Would that be because Tennessee, from what I read, plans on making $10 million from their ticket surcharge, and I think I read where they're not going to raise the price of their tickets for at least 1 or 2 years. Is that something Iowa could do?
They could. I just because I'm a season ticket holder, I just got something that seemed to suggest that the ticket prices went up 4% year over year, and that they're not doing that. So, they could do that. I'm not part of that decision-making team. So, I don't have any say in that. But I will also tell you, and Beth, I'm sure would validate that almost every time we get together and have serious discussions, that's usually something I bring up and say, hey, if every season ticket holder gave $100, you know how much difference that would make to us? But, they have reasons for doing what they do. And they told me when I've asked them this question that they do a lot of research. They pay consulting firms to help them understand who their season ticket holders are, what their capacity to pay is. And so, what I'll give them credit for sure is that they do make an educated decision on what they charge people. It's not just a willy-nilly, hey, let's increase it X percent and move on. I think there's a lot of thought that goes into that. So, again, while I have lobbied for it, it's not been something that they've decided to do at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones that have to make that decision. I still think it would work because I think that would be the easiest and most convenient way for fans. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll still want the tickets and just I'll do that. And if you don't see the ticket,
I've always felt like if I'm going to pay however many thousands of dollars to be a season ticket holder every year, I've always felt like, gosh, would I pay an extra $100 a seat to walk out of Kinnick with a smile on my face? Probably. More often, I think I would, but I'm not every season ticket holder either.
Well,
and I'm often reminded of that.
I'm not either, Brad, but I can tell you we would do that as a fan and as a long time season ticket holder. We would pay an extra $100.
It'd be like $8 it'd be like $8 a month.
Second.
Wouldn't it be like $8 a month?
Yeah, I mean, without even thinking about it, would do it.
Yeah, well, and that may be something that the athletic department ultimately does, and I hope that they do.
Well, next time we have Beth on, we'll ask her. I think that's a fair question to ask her.
It is.
And she'll talk about that. Yeah, it roughly comes out to about $8 a month. That's a bowl of soup at Panera. I mean,
but I do know, like I said, I do know though that in fairness that what they charge season ticket holders is not that's not a decision that they take lightly.
Oh, of course not. No,
they actually they do spent a lot of time on that, from what I understand.
No, and I got a lot of respect for Beth. I think was the right hire. I think it's brighter days ahead. And, I mean, as we wrap up here, Brad, anything else you want to – oh, just for our listeners, if you want – what's the easiest way to join the Swarm?
Oh, just go to iowaswarm.com and sign up and be a member. You can make a tax deductible donation, or you can make a donation that's not tax deductible but can count for seat priority in Kinnick or Carver. So either choice, we would love to have more members and more support, because it really does help attract and retain the best players out there. And Mark is a shining example of somebody that the Swarm has helped make possible.
Okay.
Thanks to our fans.
Oh, Brad, thanks for everything that you do for the Hawkeyes. It's, as a billion-year Hawkeye fan, I can tell you that I could not be more appreciative of your efforts, and keep up the absolutely fantastic work.
Yeah, nice work with Mark Gronowski. That was a good performance.
Unbelievable.
Good performance by everybody involved. Congratulations.
Thanks so much, and let's hope that Mark and the rest of the crew are ready to go this fall, and we'll have a lot of fun in Kinnick.
All right, Brad.
All right, we'll stay in touch, Brad.
Take care, guys.
Thanks.
All right.
Man, that was fun. What a fun hour. Now,
yeah,
this last half an hour is going to be a disaster. I can sense it. Can't you? I think we're going to unwind fast.
Well, let's take a quick break and get here, pay some bills. Maybe. Huh?
Unravel, probably.
Yeah.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember,
for a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Hertine and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site, so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Hertine and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Hertine and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HertineandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
So the holiday season is winding down, and you know what that means. The dreaded chore of taking down the outdoor Christmas lights. The cold, the wind, the tangled cords, the burned-out light strands. You can't wait to just shove them into a box and worry about them next year. Wouldn't you rather leave those lights up and customize them for different holidays all year long? Well, now you can with Illumalight's permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illumalight's provides illumination for every occasion, holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course lighting for all your favorite sports. The Illumalight's app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illumalight's LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. For more information about Illumalight's permanent outdoor lighting, go to BigDogTEK.net or give them a call at 319-395-0800. That's 319-395-0800.
Are you tired of living in a home that doesn't quite meet your needs? Then it's time to call the experts at Streets Maintenance. Their team of skilled professionals specializes in renovations and remodeling, transforming your home into the space you've always dreamed of. From kitchen bath remodels to complete home renovations, no job is too big or too small. Streets Maintenance will work with you every step of the way to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So don't wait any longer. Call Streets Maintenance to schedule your consultation at 400-4483. Let's start building your dream home today.
Once upon a time in the land of the Hawkeyes, a business grew. A business that would become synonymous with real estate. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson of Hawkeye Title and Settlement. When you're buying or selling your home, you'll need title and settlement services. Consider the Hawkeye Title and Settlement team. Give us a call at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier, for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. And special ribeye and shrimp nights. Daily specials at each location. And no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you. GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit Supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
When someone is kind enough to share their time with us, we better make it worth their while.
They don't want to do the, people call it the game, right?
Patrick Gades and Terry Adams of Deary Brothers Ford talk about what Here For You means to them.
You don't have to spend a half a day in our dealership to get that good competitive price. We just want to try to deliver that to you up front.
And that makes me feel good, makes me proud.
Because that's what people want. They want a fair, honest deal.
As far as the statement Here For You, we want to not just say it, but live it.
Find out what it means to you at Deary Ford in Iowa City.
Hi, this is Bill Leixnering from the Oxyoke Inn. The Oxyoke Inn is now serving daily. Our Oxyoke family is ready to serve you with the same quality of food and service you've come to trust since 1940. Now serving lunch, dinner, banquets, and carry-out daily with 4 portion sizes. Sundays featuring our famous brunch buffet. You can also order curbside carry-out and pies to go online and take the comforting taste of the Oxyoke home to your family's table. Visit oxyokeinn.com for hours, menus, reservations, carry-out, specials, and gift cards. From our Oxyoke family to yours, we can't wait to see you again soon. Oxyoke Inn, in the heart of Amana.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot. Clear and sunny today, but crisp still with high temperatures only tapping about 20. Few more clouds build in overnight tonight, becoming partly cloudy but still crashing cold down to the single digits. So tomorrow morning, waking up to wind chill values near 0. But with breezy winds out of the south, it'll shove us to highs near 30. All ahead of light snow pushing in after midnight. That's the forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now, it's 12 degrees.
KCJJ weather. Brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
We're back.
What? I'm sorry, what, Steve?
We're back.
We are back.
We are back.
We've already.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
It's already 10 after 10.
Well,
we
it's
had
8 after 10.
If we had one more guest, man, this would be smooth flowing. But
I have 9 after 10.
I couldn't get another guest, Captain. I couldn't get a third guest.
Now it's 9 after 10.
And 7
Suter
after
actually
10.
Suter got one of the guests.
Yeah.
And then thank you to James Allen from Iowa Basketball for arranging the Drew Thelwell interview. Next Wednesday, we're going to have Iowa track star Paige McGee on, and then we're going to have a wrestler after that, and then they've already set up the next 4 interviews. For,
cool.
And then
That's
Friday, we'll have Adam Haluska on at 9:30 to talk Iowa hoops. And then next Monday, we'll have Don Patterson on for the final recap, and he'll also preview the national championship.
Final recap.
Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
You guys, will you play that?
No.
That's Europe, isn't it?
Yes.
A terrible song.
Yes.
Okay, see, I thought you guys like. Honey, you like the final countdown?
No, but we all know that
He didn't
stinking.
answer.
But we all know that stinking riff, though.
Well, yeah, partly I'm reminded of it because of you guys. I haven't heard it for years. Didn't somebody use it on TV?
Yeah, Europe was on.
Well, no, but didn't
some
some
ad,
a TV, like a sports program, use it? Some like
No, well, ABC used it, but they also there's a commercial out.
Oh, that's right. A guy. Isn't that song like 40 years old? Didn't it come out in like the mid-'80s?
Yes. Yeah. Hello.
If I heard Brad right, he inferred that these collectives are having to pay players to come for a visit. I wondered if that's true, and next time you have him on, could you ask him how much they have to pay?
I didn't gather that.
I didn't gather that either.
I don't think he said that.
I don't think he implied
He didn't say it specifically, but he said some of these blue, what do you say, blue schools were offering money for kids to visit. I think that's he said something along those lines.
I didn't pick
Blue
up
blood
on
schools.
that.
I thought he was saying some of these blue blood
They're
schools
tampering.
are just tampering at free will. They're not worried about tampering. I thought that's what he said.
That's what I thought too.
Okay. Well, I was just curious if they have to pay them to just come visit.
No, I don't think
I
so.
don't think they do. I could be wrong, but no, I don't think they do.
That could be next.
I mean, like Mark Gronowski lives in Naperville, Illinois. What are they going to pay
Yeah.
his gas? I mean, but yeah, I mean, some of the flights, that probably will be next.
It
Maybe,
probably
who knows?
will be. Yeah, don't count anything out.
I won't.
No, because we don't know what's next. I mean, how high are these figures going to go?
It's hard to say.
It's just unbelievable. But what?
Did he hang up?
I think so.
No, I'm.
Oh, you're still here? Okay, good.
Well, say something.
Yeah.
I had another idea. They got so few people joining the swarm. I don't know if they need to spend more on advertising or.
Well, that's a thought I've offered. I mean, I'm sure you guys have offered, but they've also probably got a pretty tight budget too.
You bet.
And in fairness, I had somebody say, "Well, he's an actuary. He's got a lot. Why should Brad use his own money?"
He does.
I mean, I know he does, but why should he just do it at the beck and call of?
No, exactly.
That's not the point of it.
No.
Well, you'd think the athletic department, or maybe even Kirk himself, could kick some money into advertising. It would, benefit him if.
I'm not sure
technically he can't.
They can't because it's against the rules. There can't be any connection.
Yeah, I mean, and the rules are ridiculous, and there really kind of aren't any except that they can't.
But I would love, like we to advertise with us. You can have the ad up on the site, but also it goes on all of our podcasts. I would love to have Brad. Hey, Hawkeye fans, this is Brad Heinrichs, CEO of this one. I've talked to him. He's considered that. And if he's listening, there's other $100 a month. And, I mean, we have a lot of podcast listeners on our platform.
I mean, of course, and where he's coming from, it's hard enough to get Iowa people to donate, obviously, if there's only 3,000 members, and if they thought, you're paying Harty and KCJJ.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I want to pay the players. Well, then pay the players.
And KCJJ.
We'll pay KCJJ first, then the players,
yes.
right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes.
And then Harty.
Yeah, I'm.
No, I can see. Goodbye.
Was he still on?
Yeah.
I don't care. He's not talking.
It was awkward silence.
Well, you're listening.
He was listening. But why listen to us? Seriously. This is
you got to talk. If you're going to be on the line, you got to talk.
Yeah, but there's lots of times where you get mad at what people say and you tell them to shut up and hang up on
well,
them. So it's a win. It's a lose-lose.
That is the chance you take.
Yep.
Sometimes they piss me off.
Yep. Are you going to answer this one? You think this is a good call coming?
No.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes.
Hello.
Yeah, I had a question for you. I'm not a swarm member, but as a swarm member, do you get to see where the money goes, or who gets what, or how it's distributed?
You get to see it every time the team takes the field, because without the swarm, you wouldn't have seen half the football players that we watched last year. No, the money all goes to the players.
Right. I just didn't know if this volleyball player gets X amount, or this soccer player gets
no. The swarm, this particular swarm does men's basketball, women's basketball, and football. Now, wrestling has their own collective and what have you.
Okay.
No, but I do think, in fairness to fans, if I'm a fan, I'd like to know where that money's going. And I've had fans ask me, why can't we know how much like each of the starters are making on defense? I can see fans wanting to know that, but I'm not sure how much privileged information there should be. Do you think fans deserve to know how much each of the starters they're paying for on defense is making?
No.
Do you think they should? Some believe they should.
Well, that's fine. They
yeah,
can
so
believe
I'm
what they
not
want.
sure. What do you think on that?
I don't think legally they could.
Know how much each is making? I don't know the rules on that. What about you, caller? Do you think that's something you should know if you're contributing to the swarm?
I do. I just think there should be a little transparency.
Okay, and fair enough. I mean, I'm sure you're not alone, and maybe there will be more transparency down the road, because I still say down the road these guys are going to be employees for the university, and then we're going to just be able to look up.
Well, and then you have a different.
Yeah,
exactly.
But right now, I don't know that legally.
You might be right. I don't
give
know.
the salary.
Well, I mean, okay, for instance, Brad has said that because people have asked how much did Cade McNamara get? He said, "Well, I can't tell you."
We've asked him that, and we've all theorized.
We can't tell you.
Yeah, and
that's in the agreement I made with Cade that I can't tell you.
He probably signed some type of agreement,
yes,
a disclosure
he did.
agreement. Yeah,
very much so.
So legally, he can't do it. No, I get that.
Well, I just think it eliminate a lot of. Well, I heard this. I heard that.
Oh, you're right about that. You're
Yeah,
definitely right about that. And maybe it will happen down the road, what you're saying.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it.
All right.
Well, they can use your money, friend.
Suter just begging Iowa fans to help us. He's begging.
Yeah.
He's peddling. He may as well go down to Highway 6 and
Boyra.
Is it Highway 6? No, the worst of it is Highway 6 and Riverside, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's where it's worse, where they knock on your windows and get mad if you don't give them a $20 bill.
Yeah. Yesterday I saw the guy at 6 in Boyram, though, hold the sign, and then he went around in a full circle and fell down.
Did you laugh?
Yeah, I'm still. I'm still laughing.
That's true, you are. Here's another call. That last call was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Suter
Okay.
was right on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one will tank us.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see.
Hello.
Does each and every football player on scholarship receive some NIL money?
Yes.
Each one does?
Yes.
Out of all of them?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep,
So,
they do.
all right, thanks.
Okay.
And
I had somebody
I don't know about the walk-ons.
I'm not. Some did, I believe. I'm not sure what's going on now because there are not going to be many walk-ons anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
And someone asked me how they're paid. I've been told they mostly get paid monthly. Is that what you've heard too?
Yes, and they have to do something
Yes.
in the community
They have
to
do
get
something
their
in the
money.
yeah, there's stuff they make them do, which I think is nice. It's good for the players to get involved with the community, and it
Yes.
just shows that it's not just a money grab.
That's right.
You know, there's ways to make it look somewhat. What's the word I'm looking for? Wholesome? Is that a good word? Integrity filled. I just think it's nice that they involve charities as a way to help the charities and give these guys money.
And I can tell you that the charities really appreciate
Yeah.
their help.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
build events around their appearances,
Yeah.
and they can help their missions.
So hopefully,
It's
just today having Brad
critical.
on hopefully that'll help him add a few.
Well, you hope so.
And because it's basically $20 a month, so it's $240 a year to be a member of the Swarm, right?
Well, that's the low end. Yeah, I mean, you can certainly
Yeah,
do
that's
more than that.
the amount it takes just to be in it.
Yes.
That's the least amount you can pay to be in the. So that's 240. Think what's 70,000 times 240?
Oh boy.
Well, here, are you doing it?
Yeah.
Do 70,000 times 240.
Well, it's over 7 million.
So that's if they consistently draw 70. If everyone
It's
was
over 7 million,
if everyone
for
was
sure.
willing to pay $8 a month,
16,800,000.
think about that.
240 times 70,000.
Yes. 16,800,000.
Jesus.
I mean, that would be every year. If everyone agreed to pay an additional $8 a month, which $100, no, it'd be about $20 a month. So yeah. So that's what. But I'm not shaming the people that don't. But I'm saying that's what $20 a month would do if the people that consistently go to these games.
And we're just talking those people that go to the games, not talking about the millions of people that watch the games every week on
Yeah.
TV.
I mean, imagine if they could get 30,000 people in the Swarm. They would be competing with some of the big
absolutely.
dogs.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Cap.
Hi.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
Do you think Cam Miller, did you watch North Dakota State?
I did.
Can he make it to the NFL?
I think he's got a chance. It's not going to be easy, but I think he definitely will get his chance.
I think so. What are they projecting?
I haven't seen. I have not looked.
Not very high.
Yeah, I don't think he's. I've seen a top 10 list, and he was
And
not
he's
on
not
it.
on it, no.
But he'll get a chance. He'll get a look. He's a good quarterback. He sure would.
He is a leader.
He sure would have looked good in an Iowa uniform, wouldn't you?
Sure would have.
Damn right. And there's a couple other Solon boys up there.
Yeah, Adam Bach,
Fargo.
linebacker. And then you got Graham Goring, a wide receivers at South Dakota State. He's from West High.
Really?
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. Small world.
Yeah, what about Scatterball? Did you watch that game?
Well, he's
Arizona
something.
State?
Yeah, he's something.
He's an animal.
The landing gear is failing.
Pardon me?
There you go.
We're going down.
Well, we appreciate the call, Paul.
You betcha, Tom.
All right, you have a good one, man.
It overran the runway.
Not so. Not so, Cap.
Whatever.
No, it's been a great show.
No,
It's been
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
And I look forward to seeing Drew Thelwell playing against Indiana. 7 p.m. Saturday, Fox FS1.
Co-pilot is pulling up on the wheel.
Now I'm thinking of scenes from Airplane.
Great movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I love Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in that movie when he yells at the kid. That was a good scene.
Oh, hey, I saw a great movie the other day. I think it's called The 6888. It's about a division of black female WACs who got the job of sorting 10 million pieces of mail to get them to our troops in World War II.
Wow.
Oh.
And it was just excellent.
What was that on?
Netflix, I think.
Do you know, honest to God, they had the damn Golden Globes, and I'm looking at, and I hadn't heard. I didn't know.
What do they honor? What is the Golden Globes?
It was on CBS, and
what do they honor? Is that
film?
Okay, right.
You know, and TV, but I hadn't heard of 95% of it. I didn't, you don't know what channel these things are on, or streaming services or anything. It's really.
Did Andy Griffith win anything?
Yes, yeah. Most
overwatched from the grave.
Most overwatched reruns. Hello.
No, I'll just listen, Cap.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We're glad you're listening, Paul.
We are.
Well, 3 of us, maybe. 2 of us, whatever. Paul, you called up earlier, and you didn't know we had a guest. So, I mean, you weren't listening then, and you just called up. I think sometimes you just call up. I don't know. Maybe you're lonely. Are you lonely? I mean, is that it? Or?
Well, he doesn't want to answer you.
Well, but I'm interviewing him.
But what about the
He's
Hawks?
saying it's none of your business.
Well, but he called me.
What about the Hawks?
Yeah.
And NIL.
Yeah. Did you hear anything?
Did you hear our NIL, our interview with the NIL CEO?
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay, Paul.
You guys.
Have a wonderful,
Thanks, man.
Have a wonderful day.
My eyes are watering.
He doesn't want to answer me.
He doesn't want to answer.
Well, okay, but I'm trying my best to converse.
You got to give him that. He was trying.
Yeah,
sure.
I
Just what you wanted.
Wanted to converse. Damn it.
Sure you did.
Are you hoping he calls in again to try to get it going again?
No.
All right.
All right.
See. Oh, God, it's already almost. Let's see. The women play at Illinois.
At Illinois.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Big game. That's the kind of game you talk about stacking up wins.
That's right.
This is one of those stack-ups.
It's a game that they are going to be favored in.
And if they lose it, it's a game where if they don't make the tournament or whatever, it could be a point. Oh, man, that lost to
That's
Illinois.
right.
You got to win this game. Illinois is a good team, not a great team by any means. You should be able to beat them.
No, that's exactly right.
And then the men play Indiana on Saturday at 7. Then the women also play Indiana this coming
next
Sunday.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a big week for the women.
It is, and for the men. And
Well,
they
yeah,
took
for
care of
both.
business last night.
Yes.
But
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Hey.
Great show today, guys.
Thank you.
Off topic. The television commercial with John Travolta in a Santa Claus suit walking down the streets of Brooklyn with a can of paint, recreating Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
The ad goes along, and then there's just a brief picture of a woman grinning at the camera. Is that the actor that played Annette Cigarette?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't.
Jim Hunter says yes.
Yes.
Played who? Annette who?
I think I've heard Captain talk about her, and maybe he interviewed her in the past, or he knew her or something.
Who was it?
Donna Pescow.
Oh, Donna Pescow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
interviewed her. Yeah.
Okay, but she played Annette, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Annette. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know why they threw her into that ad, but they did.
Well, that
Well,
kind of
they just
Well,
this
'cause
call
yeah.
was.
ices it.
Wasn't that the most famous thing she probably did? Was that movie?
It's Small World,
I don't remember
where
that.
she had the kid that was a robot.
See, I never saw it, so it wasn't that small. Of a
I
movie.
never saw that either.
So it really
All right,
wasn't
thank you.
that small.
All right, thanks.
We're talking down. We
See,
went.
I
from,
haven't seen the ad, so I really can't.
We went from
come in.
Brad Heinrichs to Paul to Donna Pescow. I told you we were
Well,
going to.
Drew Thelwell first.
Well, Drew Thelwell. Yeah, Drew Thelwell. Brad Heinrichs, Paul.
Why do you look at me? I just was trying to converse. You don't.
Let's go to the phones, Steve.
Hello.
Wasn't Mason that Small World show?
yeah, yes.
Now we got callers making insults.
No.
The thing is, I guarantee you Mace ain't listening, so he didn't hear it.
You don't know that.
He wouldn't. Mace hates Hawkeye Sports, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't know that he.
I don't know.
Hate might be a little strong.
I don't think he's
he
particularly keyed in on it.
So do you think
is he?
Mace is all worked up about the Grodowski decision?
Yes, very much so.
You think he's?
Yeah.
You think that's just relieved, more relieved, or more excited?
I mean, if people think we're suddenly going to be the favorites to get a bye in the college playoffs,
Bring on Ohio State. Bring on Ohio State.
They always do, though.
You know, come on, folks.
Now, in fairness to
Don't go
the
overboard.
media does it sometimes too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The media does it. I mean, I haven't read some other stuff, but I guarantee you there's some media stuff out there saying this is program changing and this is huge, and fine, maybe it will be.
Yeah.
But none of us know. We don't know. And
No, we don't. Of
Even
course we
Brad
don't.
said that.
No,
we don't know how he's going to play.
No.
God, I hope he doesn't get hurt, but that's always we saw with Cade McNamara. Yeah, you can say he was bad on the field, but injuries were a factor. In fairness to him, injuries were
an incredible factor.
And I think he was damaged goods before he even came here because of the first injury.
And he probably didn't know that.
No, in fairness, you're right.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about him. I haven't seen any crystal balls or predictions I have not heard a word about where he may be going.
Saw where Marco Lioness is going to
Elon University in Elon, North Carolina. It's not Elon Musk's school, if people are wondering. Yeah. But that's FCS, and my guess is he found a place where he can go in and be the top dog.
Yeah,
and it also shows that he probably wasn't getting a lot of power for looks.
No.
And good luck to him, though. He seemed like a nice kid the few times I talked to him.
We met him at one of the Swarm events, in fact, and got the chance to sit
Really
down
nice
and talk
kid.
to him. He was a great kid.
Tyler Ellsbury decided he's going to give the NFL draft a chance instead of coming back for what would have been, his sixth year?
Uh-huh.
I mean, these eligibility things, it's just, when will it end? It seems like, it's either the COVID stuff's now over. And the COVID stuff was for the people that came in the same year Caitlin did, 2021. And you would get that fifth year, but now we're beyond that. But it's still amazing how people seem to still be finding ways to get another.
Well, Drew Thelwell.
He did not rule it out.
He sure didn't.
I was joking when I asked him that. I did. So he made it sound like there would be a possibility.
It's so funny that you got that text asking that question, because that's exactly what I had thought 20 seconds before you got that tweet saying, I wonder if he's thought of a way to.
And I thought
have another
I
year.
was joking, but he answered it as if there might be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I'll have to talk to Iowa about that and see, because if they could get him for another year, that would be huge with the way he's playing. And you guys heard. You could tell he's a great kid.
Yes.
Fun to deal with, fun to interview. He's just fun to be around. You can tell his teammates really like him.
Very natural kid.
That was a great fit. Fran and the staff did a great job. And I'm guessing Drew Thelwell probably asked for a little NIL money too. And
sure he
did. And he got it.
Listen, we don't have too many kids that aren't great.
No, you're right. I will say,
in
all my times of doing this, since Fran's been the head coach, you can knock him for not getting to the Sweet 16. Rarely have his player. What's the Peter Jock riding with an expired license plate?
Yeah.
Is that about the worst thing that's happened?
Yeah,
I think it is.
I'm trying to think if there's anything we're not remembering. But it's been.
But I mean,
the Hubbard kid was.
Yeah. They nipped that in the bud and got him out of there.
Yeah.
And that was when Fran was roster building in sort of desperate times. He took a chance, didn't work, but they got him out of here.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they have recruited really good kids. And football had some stretches back when it started, but people will joke that, without that bad stretch, Kirk would never have rebuilt that program because we needed those guys. Because a lot of the guys that got in trouble were really good players.
Yes, they were.
Really good players. But for the most part, football, you get the OWIs. I had an OWI when I was 23 years old. It was a stupid mistake, but that's the kind of – if you were going to predict – athletes getting into trouble, wouldn't OWI probably be number one on your list? If you had to predict what that or public intoxication, it'd be one of those two.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's just the way it is. That doesn't make it right. I'm not condoning it. But, Tristan Wirfs is a great kid, and, he made a bad mistake, and he owned up to it, and now he learned his lesson. But for the most part, His was funny, though, because didn't he have like 8 people riding on it with him?
He on a scooter.
I don't think it was 8, but it was.
I think it was 2 or 3.
It was a funny visual,
It was
though.
3.
Yeah.
And, it was.
And he, along with his 300 pounds.
Yes. Yeah.
That poor scooter. Should have filed an abuse claim. But no, for the most part, though, I've been really impressed with the character of the people they recruited.
Yep.
Just good kids.
And the other thing, the age-old stereotype of the dumb jock is so wrong.
It is.
And so gone.
And it always has
Well,
been.
actually, the GPAs of the sports teams are better than the general public. It's not even close.
Yeah.
I keep seeing
Exactly.
Iowa teams like the men's basketball GPA was 3.3.
Yeah.
I mean, I can say maybe once or twice in college I was in that area, and it was early on when I was still ambitious and had dreams. My junior year, the dreams were crushed.
I left after my junior year.
Yeah.
I didn't have bad.
You went to live your
dreams.
dream after your junior year.
This is my dream.
Well, I mean, it was to do radio. That was your dream.
Yeah, that was my.
That
That's
was
what
your
I
dream.
said. This is
you're living your dream.
So that I could interview people and ask them questions.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. And bring out the essence.
You were trying to bring out the essence of Paul. Is
I
that what
was.
you're saying?
And
But Suter's not buying it. He thinks you were mocking him.
He always thinks.
Do you think he was mocking him, Suter?
I make a mockery.
Do you think he was mocking Paul or trying to bring out the essence of Paul?
Steve cannot. There's nothing he likes more than a bit. Nothing. The interview, Drew Thelwell, great.
Envisioning myself at that moment, Edward R. Murrow, and I was going to get some award for my interview.
With a cigarette in your hand?
Yeah, and you just...
In black and white?
Yeah.
Wasn't he one of those that would smoke a cigarette and then light the next one with the one he was just getting ready?
Yes.
Could you imagine that?
And no filters.
You were never that bad, were you? Were you close to that?
Listen, if you want to watch...
No.
If you want to watch, go to YouTube and watch one of his person-to-person interviews.
Is it just all smoke-filled?
Yeah, it's got a ring of smoke around his head. Honest to God.
And how old? He died of cancer in like his 60s, didn't he?
Yeah.
Man, his lungs must have just been tarred.
Oh, man.
Because you said he did unfiltered, like unfiltered Camel cigarettes?
Yeah, there weren't a lot of filtered
No, there
cigarettes
weren't.
then. Wow. My grandfather did.
Did you ever do unfiltered?
Camel.
No.
Okay.
Oh, if I had an unfiltered cigarette, and I smoked a couple packs a day, if I smoked an unfiltered cigarette, it would just knock me on my ass.
Your grandfather did unfiltered Camels?
Yeah.
Like how many a day? Do you remember? Like, would he do a pack?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember, though.
A pack a day is not a heavy smoker.
That's 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my dad at his peak, he said he was doing 3 packs a day.
Yeah. What the hell was it then? It was
believe
like,
it.
how much a pack? It wasn't even $1, was it?
Oh, no.
I will give my dad credit. The moment the Surgeon General came out with that study in the mid-'60s, he quit smoking. But I remember like people in my family saying, well, gee, you were not worried about putting smoke in your lungs 60 times a day? Thinking,
no, because your doctor did.
I know. I just can't imagine, though, that nobody thought it was...
Don't you remember? And I was getting treatments here at the university when they said you can't smoke in the building. And I went for one of my appointments, and it was at noon. And nurses, doctors were right in front of that hospital entrance, and just a cloud.
Well, if you look at those old sitcoms, and I'll bring up Andy Griffith, there's times where he's hugging Opie with a heater in his mouth.
Yeah.
There's just secondhand smoke everywhere.
Yeah.
It was, you didn't even think about it.
Yeah, everybody did.
Everybody did. You're right.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. Now it's rare you see someone smoking a cigarette.
No, when I worked at VA when I was just out of high school. They had a little canteen at the VA. I paid 26 cents a pack for cigarettes.
Wow, that made it pretty easy to smoke.
Really?
So did you quit in just one day? You just woke up and said, "I'm done," and never smoked again?
Yes.
But
it was after for a couple of years I tried the gum, the acupuncture, hypnosis.
Oh, you tried a lot of stuff. So what was the difference?
I just decided that I can consider myself an intelligent individual, or I can smoke, because they are mutually exclusive.
Early 80s?
89.
89. So you smoked through most of the 70s and 80s?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's when I smoked.
Peter Jennings just went cold turkey, and then on 9/11, He hadn't smoked for 20-some years.
And he was a heavy
years.
smoker.
Yeah. And 9/11, that day, he smoked and got lung cancer.
Yeah, he died. That's what he died of, yeah.
Almost.
Did he keep smoking after that then? Or
I don't believe
I mean, he didn't get lung cancer from one cigarette on 9/11.
I believe he did.
Well, I don't.
No, but
what he's saying is that he got to smoking again.
He got to smoking again.
And I would believe that.
Yeah.
No, I felt
they say it's worse if you pick it back up again.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, I was never able to inhale a cigarette. The few times I even tried to smoke, if I tried to bring it into my, I couldn't do it. My lungs felt like they were going to, and it had no effect on me whatsoever.
I grew up with that. I mean, my folks both smoked, and my mom smoked till.
Yeah, my mom never did.
2 weeks before she died, and she had emphysema. That's what she died of, but she was 80. But I grew up with that smell, and I would never think of putting a cigarette up to my mouth.
Yeah, the
Hated
smell.
that smell.
But see,
I loved every cigarette I ever had.
I mean, I was like 2 or 3.
I completely understand the addiction factor. And I understand that it is stronger than I am. And if I have a hit of a cigarette, I will start smoking.
I mean, I was my close friends.
Years.
My close friends in college, I was about the only one who didn't smoke cigarettes. A lot of them did. They just did.
No,
and a couple of them, I know one buddy of mine still does to this day. Not as much. I think he's down to like 8 or 10 a day. But I mean, which is by your terms, that's barely smoking. But
that would be impossible for me.
That's still, that's still a lot of inhaling of.
It is.
And then people who are anti-marijuana, though, well, same thing.
No,
nobody smokes pot the way people smoke.
It's not even close.
No,
I mean, even if you're a hardcore, I mean, it's just different.
Anything that's got smoke in
it
that you're sucking in is not good for you.
No,
but you're not smoking 60 marijuana joints a day.
No.
I mean, and if you are, you're an idiot.
Well, no, if you are, you're passed out.
And you're hungry and eating Doritos and
you're
donuts.
covered with cheese from Cheetos.
If you smoke 60 joints a day, you're dead.
How about donuts? Would you like a donut right now? Big, huge chocolate donut?
Not really.
That doesn't sound good to you?
No.
All right.
Pizza, yeah. Pizza, I do.
Yeah, I'm going to go get
I had a
bag
burger
of
from Sam's
Fritos
last night.
Today. I woke up this morning wanting Fritos.
I have craving for. I like Fritos.
I do too.
No,
but I like the barbecue or chili cheese.
Well, I like Fritos and put a little chili on them. They're good.
Hello.
Good morning, guys. Hey, great show.
Thank you.
I just want to make a quick comment. I was just listening to your conversation about smoking.
Yes.
And I'm a retired journalist, sort of like all you guys, but not radio. But I have this funny feeling in about 10 years from now, if we were all sitting around, we're going to have that same conversation about alcohol. I just see it going that way. I don't care what kind of alcohol it is, even something benign as what we think beer is. But I just have this feeling in about 10 years regarding people's health and making decisions. I think it's going to go that same route as smoking was. And, just historically speaking, I'll hang up and see what you guys have to say. Thanks.
Okay.
I hadn't thought about that. I mean, I'm somebody, you could argue I drink too much. But I only drink light beer. I drink too frequently, but I haven't drank hard liquor in a long time. But, yeah, I guess there's always the chance of that happen. But I think it's sort of like health insurance in that too many people financially depend on the alcohol industry, and it will never happen. I know you could say the same thing about cigarettes, but to me, the effect of cigarettes, it goes right. It's your lungs, right? Whereas alcohol, I guess it can impact your kid. I don't know.
The evidence of smoking killing people is so obvious.
More so than alcohol. At least for
way
me.
more. No, more people die from smoking than suicide, alcohol, auto accidents, and everything combined.
And
it's not even close.
And to me, I would think drinking 3 beers is not as rough on your body if you did that in one day as opposed to having 60 cigarettes. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
I don't think people ever stop using
But no, it's an
alcohol.
interesting point what he says. You never know. I mean,
it's an interesting point.
Most people that use alcohol, and
I'm one of those.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. They don't use it like you smoke cigarettes and Most of them are responsible.
Well, I had three and a half beers left. I didn't drink the fourth one.
Okay, but you didn't go out driving.
Well, no, but I'm just
You
talking
didn't
about
get
the
in a
wear and
fight.
tear on my body.
Yeah.
To me, those 3.5 Miller Lite beers I had last night, because I did dump out the fourth one, most of it this morning, I don't think that would do as much damage as if I would have smoked 2 packs of cigarettes yesterday. And I'll ask my doctor when I go for my because they're always saying drink less.
You don't have to ask your doctor about that. That's
They
not
always
even
have.
close.
Now they did a study, and and alcohol causes cancer, and red meat causes cancer.
There was a time when they thought water caused
Everything
cancer.
causes cancer.
Yeah, everything
they don't
causes
know.
cancer. They don't. Yeah, and there's so many different kinds of cancer. It's not like oh my God, we found a cure for all cancer. It doesn't work like that.
I mean, there are markers for certain kinds of cancer.
No, without
that you
question.
can have tests and find out.
My wife doesn't drink rarely a glass of wine.
She doesn't drink, really.
Okay. Never smoked. Okay. And she got this rare form of cancer.
Sometimes it's just unlucky.
Yeah. And it's such a rare form, they're doing an actual study at Mayo on it.
Really? Well,
Yeah. So, I mean, she got that at the same time she got the ALS. And they thought maybe they were
related somehow?
But they weren't. They did tests.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, you don't know what causes cancer. You know that cigarettes
But you do
cause
know that
cancer.
nicotine, cigarette smoke in your lungs.
You know that.
And it also
you know-
causes high blood pressure.
And if you eat too much of this
Yeah.
and that, I mean.
And like I said, I'm not condoning alcohol use. I mean, I could have easily, my doctor's going to say, you shouldn't drink 3 or 4 beers a day. Yeah, but sometimes I do. It helps me get to sleep but like I said, so you agree that I would say drinking a 6-pack in a day is not as bad as drinking 40 or smoking 40 cigarettes.
I would certainly agree with that. For some people, though, drinking 6 drinks a day is a death sentence, though.
What do you mean?
There's something in their physiology
No, it
that
depends.
it would kill them.
When you say drinks, are you saying drinks like beer or like hard liquor? Because there's a difference.
Well, if you have a beer and a glass of wine, aren't those the same?
Yeah, but to me, if you drink 6 Miller Lite bottles of beer as opposed to taking 6 shots of whiskey,
I don't think
I'm going to be way more drunk on the 6 shots of whiskey.
It depends how you space them out.
Well, if you did it all in an hour, let's say you drank a 6.
You would be pretty well trashed.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be nearly as trashed after 6 beers as I would be after 6
in an
shots
hour,
of whiskey.
Though?
I don't think I would be. But I only drink light beer too.
Okay, you use it to sleep. It
helps me get to sleep at night.
Do I think it helps me sleep? Yes.
Oh, I know it helps me, and I have trouble sleeping.
See, when I have trouble, when I can't get to sleep, I go over to my tape recorder. I listen to Paul's phone calls.
Well, he has a very soothing voice.
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree?
And I am down.
Okay, but on the other hand, I didn't have anything to drink yesterday and slept like a baby. So.
Oh, I've had that happen. There's lots of times. Like when I travel, work, or if I'm preoccupied, there's lots of times where I don't even think about it. Yeah, like usually when I travel, like to cover Big Ten events, I don't hardly do any drinking and what have you.
I'm sorry, Paul.
But like I said, I have not drank hard liquor since 2019, and I'm kind of happy about that because I was drinking too much whiskey.
That's probably,
And my friends, some of my smart-ass friends say that I don't, if you're drinking light beer, you're not, well, there is alcohol in light beer.
There is.
But they make sense. Because they're like, if you like drinking beer, why don't you get like the 10.9 and only have one? I don't want to drink beer that's got 11% out. I don't need that. And I usually don't like the taste of those IPAs.
Well, IPAs are horrible to me.
But what
my
they're known
taste.
for is having more alcohol in them. I mean, one IPA beer will have 3 times sometimes the amount of alcohol.
But you can find there are beers that are more lager-like, that more like you're drinking that are 10% that are not IPAs.
But I don't need that. I don't need to drink beer with 10% alcohol.
Okay.
Hello.
If I want to get a good night's sleep, I just turn on the gym class.
Okay. Haven't heard.
I don't think they're on that late, are they?
Well, you could record it and then play it at night.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
Are they? Is it still?
I don't think so.
You don't talk about the gym class like you used to.
No.
You remember you used to insult them daily.
Yes.
You've moved on.
Well, I'm expanding my repertoire.
Okay.
And I was just, I don't want Paul to feel bad.
I don't think Paul's fine. Paul's fine.
Is he okay?
Paul's fine.
Fine.
Paul's in Florida right now. We're in the middle of a cornfield in Iowa.
And it's 8 degrees.
You shame me.
Paul's in Florida.
Paul is Tom's friend.
You shame me. I have,
He's got a soft spot for Paul.
I'm familiar with you. And what you love on the air.
But no, this was a fun show today. I appreciate Drew Thelwell coming on, getting the fans getting to know him a little bit. And, of course, we always enjoy talking to Brad Heinrichs about NIL. And, again, Friday, 9:30, Adam Haluska on Talking Hoops. Then Monday, Don Patterson. And then next Wednesday, Paige McGee. So, yeah, we're going to have a lot of guests on these next couple of weeks.
Oh, that's fun. It makes for a fun show.
All right.
You got some police reports coming up?
I got police reports, and we're going to go to CNN a little bit. They are being earlier we had reports from KTLA and KCBS and CNN, and I actually been texting with my cousin out there, and it's devastating. Yeah, I mean, this is, and it's going towards San Diego.
All right, well, hawkfanatic.com, check it out, it's free.
And let's go to CNN.